from the LinkedIn. I just allowed you to come in. Thanks for joining me, people on the YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn. So, as you know, this is Dr. Akulusu. I come here every evening. Hi, Alka, how are you? So, we were talking about practical spirituality, not like the other religious stuff, but more like what kind of spirit we have inside. You know, are we joyful? Are we having this flow when we work? Are we having camaraderie with other people and generally have a very good atmosphere around us? Those kind of things I was really interested in promoting harmony, promoting friendship and camaraderie between the team members. And all that stems from what kind of attitude we display while we are working, right? So I always understood what is karma yoga. That means action yoga. What does it mean? Yeah, you can do all the asanas for your health and breathing for your control of the mind and mind just to focus. All those things are wonderful. But beyond that, how do you go about into the work atmosphere to make corporation really, you know, uh, filled with a lot of people who want to do something just because they have a package or they have some things coming up. That's okay. But then after you have, arranged for your living and for support of the family and all that, what do you bring to the work? That is kind of our attitude, our sense of responsibility, our sense of contributing to the whole or to a bigger purpose, right? That's where the attitude really helps if you can take it. I remember in 1985 when I started giving these lectures on stress, I wanted them answer me one question. All the people who said that we are stressed, we have too much work, or we don't have enough conversation, or we have real mean bosses and all that, right? They do have stress, no doubt about it. That's why I called those meetings. And to my surprise, the whole auditorium was filled. Okay, because we had two kind of hospitals. One is on the south, one is on the north, right? The South Hospital has offices, big, seminar conference rooms and all that. So I happen to be friends with the library chairman, who is really in charge of that. So she kind of took to me, and then she thought that would be good. We do this. So we called in a meeting one time. They all came, and the whole maybe 200, 300 people were there. The whole auditorium was filled. The question was, when you come to the work, do you focus on what are the institution goals, or what are my goal? How much can I get out of it, or give very little of it? That was the prevalence. People were coming and spending the time watching the clock and then going away, postponing what are the needs of the patients and all that. So the excuse was, we are so tired, we are so stressed out, we cannot do it. Especially in the times when changes were happening, right? So that's why, because I'm involved in this work, I kind of called it, and then people came in thinking that this is going to be just sitting and listening. But I made them do some postures, some breathing exercises, some meditation efforts, and all the basic things, right? They enjoyed it. They took it like a fun. But then this question, not many people volunteered how they really have this attitude about work. Are they doing something because they're expecting some return, or they're obligated to do, or they're in the spirit of what is the long-term vision of this institution? How can I really help that cause? Basically, it's going way above your job description. That's what it is. Then I quoted something from Kennedy, which was everybody knows about. He asked, "Don't ask the country what it is doing for me, but ask yourself what I'm doing for the country." Right? And that's a very important thing to really not to even have stress while you are working, right? That's a simple commonsensical thing. When you put the bigger picture in front of you, your narrow tensions, fears, and all those will naturally sublimate. Okay, that's the secret behind it. Now, how I heard about this is I was very young. I was in high school when I heard that duty for the sake of duty. Mahatma Gandhi. He said that duty for the sake of duty. Duty not for personal selfish interests. Okay, actually that has got a lot more reliance with the self enlightenment, where your heart is purified. That's one of the steps that you require to really get self-realized and then stay in that. That's called sthita pragnata. Because the one who is stabilized in that wisdom, he is like that. So for that, Gandhi, somebody asked him, "Can you describe this in 5 words?" And he said, "I will do it in three." You know, he said, "Renounce and enjoy." That means he takes up a job, but he's not concerned about what kind of result it will have. But he is not going to compromise on how quality he will put in the work. So he will really enjoy doing the stuff and then doing to the best of his ability, so that he will get the good, not even good, excellent result at the end of it, without really aiming for it. Okay, so you're focused on what you are doing. That's where you are going to be in the flow and going to be really appreciating the nuances of the work atmosphere or work, and then you're going to be really feeling that thrill of doing the things, right? So many people have these psychological needs, many people have these egoist problems and all that, so they can never have this kind of flow. They will be working on threat or reward, and then if they are not there, they may be very slumpy in their work. Okay, so we describe like can you work something without feeling the tension about working? Okay, and can you relax without being really lax? Okay, so that's the aim that you will have as a karma yogi. And I picked it up very early when I was in maybe sixth standard or something. Gandhi's lecture, he was talking about this duty for the sake of duty. If you remember, people like Gandhi, they never aspired for a post, for accumulate of all the material things, or people saying that you are such a great person. No, he never cared for that. All he cared for that was how can I realize what is self, what is God, what is true spirituality, and then when they asked him, "What are you? Are you a social worker, or are you a independence fighter, or you are a lawyer?" All those things are there in his life. He said, "No, I'm a simple man looking for the reality. That means looking for the real God and all that, right? That is the spiritual nature of him. That's why he didn't care when they put him in the jail, or didn't care that he never aspired for to become prime minister. He would have been the prime minister if he wanted to, president or any of that. He retired completely, right? So that was the attitude. I think that is still relevant now. Why? Because when we teach people servant leadership, this thing comes up. Um, Usually, they are driven by people who are egotistical and they want their way, and they are giving a lot of stress to a lot of people because they are wanting only some goals that will deliver you some extra money or extra results that satisfy the ego and all that. That's the prevalent malady of corporation running. But then now there is a movement. I met one lady. She was also talking about this kind of stuff, and she is a counselor for enhancing these ethical, moral values in leaders. Not that they are doing anything wrong, but then they are way go or the ego, and then that becomes a lot of problems to the management. So how can you be oriented to the bigger, longer visions of the institution or the country versus your narrow egotistical aspirations, right? So that's where this all comes back to. And if you look at the burnout or stress people that come and that want to win, most of the time it's because they don't understand what is the ego and how you have ego in their life. They don't understand that something like a happiness is within, not outside in them. So once they see that, they are remarkably changing because they could see this so close to me, so easy for me if I only I can listen to this wisdom, you know. So work with a higher purpose, identify with the higher purpose, work in flow because you don't have this chattering egotistical mind there. So you enjoy the process rather than the results, and work uh, with enjoyment first. Okay, renounce and enjoy. Those are the three words Gandhi used to. And this particular part, duty for the sake of duty. Look at a mother. She takes care of the child not because she feels dutiful, but then she is kind of instinctively does that because she is full of love for the kid, right? That may be far fetched. Many people don't have love for their own staff members or their own colleagues and all that. But then the ancient principle comes into place here too. These are all the principles I teach in my servant leadership class. Uh, we know from the ancient wisdom, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. That means Vasudha means entire world. All the animals, plants, and human beings, they are all one family. Then how would we treat the planet? How would we treat the animals? How would we treat the uh, plants? And we will cherish them, right? That used to be the case with the ancients. Modern people, they kind of care for plastic and other things which are harmful to us. Now we are really seeing the consequences of that kind of behavior, right? So that way also, to save the planet also, we should really rethink about these older um, aims or principles that they had about Earth, about how to protect it and all that, right? So, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, once you have that, you cannot really have any problems with anybody, and then you can accept them as family, and things will go much smoother. These are not just moral sayings. These are actually, if you look at it, they are very important principles for our, harmony of people and also survival of the people and also really regenerating our planet, right? So this is that important. So work disinterestedly in your selfish needs, but not uninterested in your passion or excellence of the results. But don't aim for the results because you are already complete without all that. So that's how things are shape up, and then you will enjoy and in flow and really get the fulfillment of achieving a job completely for its own sake, and then doing it with excellent attention without the tension. And then when you relax, you will completely relax. So that can no doubt bring the laziness and relaxation into the work when you are doing it. After you work, yeah, definitely you relax, and then you get the benefit of health because you are not just working, but you know how to relax. But many people don't have the relaxation of the chatter of the mind. That's where I concentrate. That's why I can do many meetings in a day. Even now, I test myself. I'm doing many meetings, but I enjoy them, and also they don't bother me. At the end of the day, I don't have any brain fog because of that. Okay, do it, enjoy it, and then wipe it off from your mind. Then you will be available for the next job. So, any questions, any comments, Alka, Nazli? Anybody on the LinkedIn? There are seven people there. Rohi, Jade Orion, Joshua, Mary, Julie, Robert Goodman, Dr. Robert Goodman, and Abby. So, I mean, these are not like a one-sided lectures, really. People have, um, you know, contrary views or comments or questions that will be more lovely for you. Uh, More than talking about these things, when we implement them in our daily life, they got it very, you know, you can see the value of that right away when you work unselfishly and when you embrace that flow and that with the flow webbing of joy within. That's real. Okay, you don't have to belong to one particular religion or one particular philosophical thought or even one particular country. You can do all these things as a daily life and also accept everybody as family members and see what happens. Okay. All right. So if everybody is satisfied with whatever I said, and then you don't have anything to add on question or anything like that, I will be leaving now, and then I will be doing again tomorrow, and we will have a fresh new subject for that. Okay. Thank you.